Are you ready?
I'm entirely ready.
Okay, we're ready.
Let's do this.
Hi, y'all. This might be the only behind the scenes video that we're going to do for functional human design, and you'll understand why in a few minutes. But I don't normally do a bunch of behind the scenes because, well, it takes a lot of work. And
Because we're behind the scenes already working. So now we're going to tell you what's been happening.
Right, because it looks, probably on the outside, it looks really chaotic and crazy, like this has just been an accidental chaos storm of us building a community, and we've been in school for like 7 weeks, so we're still very much the new kids on the block, but we're not new to online business, we're not new to business in general. And yet Skool is a completely different platform. Every platform is different. They have different functionalities. And
when we say completely different, it's an entirely different animal than anything we've both seen.
Right. And so we're going to walk you through the steps that we have, the pivots that we've done over the last 7 weeks. And there have been 6 major pivots. And I know that looks so chaotic on the outside, but this is really the first time I've ever built a business based on my strategy and authority. And so alignment, and really alignment is just knowing yourself and being willing to step forward and create. And as a manifesting generator, my strategy is to respond. And it's like, how do you start a business when you're responding? Well, you do the entire thing almost backwards in response to people, which creates this illusion of chaos. But really, I knew that because I was excited about functional human design, that I had the sacral power to be able to withstand that chaos and withstand the shifts and pivots that we would make, that as long as we didn't grow too fast, that we would be able to do a pivot, recenter, and come back around and be like, okay, let's figure out what we learned. And so in 7 weeks, the fact that there's been 6 pivots, that's a lot. And I haven't had even hints of burnout. When I'm tired, I rest. When I'm wanting to go, I go. And that's the beauty of listening to your body and following your alignment. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the create, respond is really hilarious on the outside looking in, because I can't imagine how chaotic that was.
It's like paint a picture. How does that feel to you? Paint a picture. How does it feel to you? And just getting feedback over and over and over again.
Yeah, every pivot we've done started with an original creation that we were super excited about, knew we had the energy to support, and then it was like, let's do some things and then figure out what they say and respond to that. Figure out what they say and respond to that. Mm-hmm. And so that's how we've gotten here. So when we first started Skool 7 weeks ago, it was a paid community. Functional Human Design was paid. We only had one community, and we were I was arrogant. I was like, I know how to do this. I know how to build communities. I know how to build funnels. I know how to build systems. I know how to do this shit. And I'm worthy. I know I'm worthy, and I know it's good shit. So it needs to be paid. Insert mega ego death. And so that was the first, that was the big ego death.
It was a major ego death for me as well, because I had put out a few posts in my manifestor style where it was just like, here's what we're doing, but I can't tell you what we're doing. And that approach was not working because I wasn't really cutting through the chaos like a manifestor should. I was overexposing myself, and then people are finding out, we have a paid community, and it's just, it felt kind of disastrous for just a moment.
Right. That first week was probably the hardest time. And so the ego death that we learned was follow the damn system. Mm-hmm. Skool is a completely different platform. And when you follow that system, it really radically changes things. So we had to understand the culture. And from that pivot into a free community And at the same time, we also started daily live or daily YouTube videos. And that lasted about 3 weeks. And we'll tell you that this is pivot number 2. So pivot number 2 was doing daily YouTube videos. And we knew that in order to get better and evolve and find more of our alignment, that you really have to challenge yourself. How do you challenge yourself? You put yourself in front of a camera every damn day and you learn and you grow. So some of our first YouTube videos weren't very good. Then we pivoted to it from it being us to being him behind the camera and me in front of the camera, finding magic. And it was good, but like those first, when we were doing the 21 days-ish straight, it was good, but it wasn't great.
Right. It covered what needed to be covered. And in that process, we found that, I found that I'm not a charismatic person. My message is really to cut through the chaos, really to get to the point, and really to invite people to a new way of doing things, no matter what that may be. And in our case, it was her and I were clashing because it was me not realizing I'm in competition, but really being in competition, trying to be this charismatic person. So week 3, we started to figure that out.
Right. And our engagement in the community and functional human design was still pretty light at this point. Like we hadn't really figured out the engagement piece. And we were like, okay, YouTube's good, not great. Like things are going well, but they're not awesome. And let's listen. And so we started listening again. And I was like, okay, we listened all the way through, but started like seeking answers.
Feedback. Yeah.
Right. And that's when we started the live calls. We were doing 5 a week. We've been doing 5 a week. It's shifting. Wait till the end of this because we're going to, we've got some new shifts that are coming that are really fun. And we're not getting rid of the live calls. We just have to distribute energy in a way that is sustainable for us because we want to keep doing this and you can't do that if you're burnt out or if you're tired. So it's like the moment I start to feel like, okay, we've got too much on our plate, that's when I know it's time to pivot. Or when something's not working, that's when it's time to I start seeking answers. I'm like, okay, what's the next thing? So with the live calls, we got great results, but we couldn't keep up on the YouTube because now we're really busy. You're expending a bunch of utilizing. There we are. We're exerting a bunch of energy on the live calls and couldn't keep up with the YouTube. And then I started praying. So this is like mid-third pivot. And I started praying. I was like, universe, I need more projectors in here because I need their wisdom. And then I started praying for people like money people who have been successful financially. And I was just praying all the way through, help me see what I cannot see. Open my eyes. I just want to understand greater. And it's been so amazing because a number of the projectors that came in were like, oh, I want to be able to find my people. And out of that, we created the Find Your Type in the classroom. And the Human Hub that started as a post was then able to switch and be over and do interviews and have this whole community highlight where we get to highlight you guys and promote people because I love seeing your businesses succeed. Like that's what alignment does, is that you have success in every area of your life.
And that's really taken off quickly. It's been a hit and people are connecting deeper and having more meaningful action because of it.
Yeah, those two things have been so much fun. And that took me into Pivot 4. And Pivot 4 was really just a few days ago. And we've done a couple more pivots since then. But we had, I guess these kind of went in order because, they were happening all at the same time. Because we had 2 other communities that were Roast My communities that we bought under the Hermosi 3-month trial thing that we were like, okay, we got to get these and get them rolling and see what happens. But they weren't sitting right. So we ended up pivoting both of those into Worthy, which is a healing program, and Vulnerable Leadership, which is all behind the scenes and business structure stuff. But that wasn't fully sitting right yet either. And so it's like we did it, and then it's like, okay, wait. And it's because we're both emotional decision makers, and so it takes time for us to wait, pivot, and so we're going through this journey slowly but fast. If that makes sense. We're taking time and being very intentional.
Sometimes it feels really slow, and I think it's because we're so used to going so fast without gaining clarity, and that's been partly my fault, in that I would push you to do something that you're not ready for, and also push myself with something that I'm not ready for, because I'm not, I wasn't riding that emotional wave. So in this process, we're, continue with your shift.
Because that's what happens next. Excuse me. We end up getting these bots from Alex, who was one of the people that came into the community. And he had been working for months to create these custom human design bots. And we bought into his community, both of us, and was like, okay, I'm just going to test this, see how it works. It has been so completely phenomenal because it took my design from being like, okay, I see it and I'm just having to trial and error my micro tuning of adjustments for alignment. It took it into just this super specific pinpoint of these are where the issues are. This is what's really going on here. And we were both able to see these super specific details that we could not see before. And for me, the biggest challenge I've had was clarity of how to distribute my energy and like what parts of me go where, because that triple split sometimes hits me in the honey boo boo. So in that process of playing with this bot, I ended up having like so much clarity, and then this huge remembering of this idea that I had quite a few years ago, had tried to do once, didn't work because I wasn't following my strategy and authority. And functional human design was already set up for it. Like we had done it accidentally just by listening to you guys, the people of the community. It had happened naturally. And all I really had to do was go change the bio itself of functional human design and create it as a network. And then I changed the rules. And I was like, okay, the rules are self-promotion's okay. Just be involved. Don't be schmoozy.
And there's only one actual rule besides what the point of the community is, and that's use your kindness. Be kind to yourself and others.
Right. And that's actually the rule. We have ran our entire household that way for the last 15 years. And as long as you follow the rule, it works really well, because everything you can imagine falls under the category of, am I being kind to myself? And am I being kind to the other people around me? Like, it's just a universal rule. So we had this big step 5 was really, okay, I understand what we're doing with Worthy, and I understand what we're doing with functional human design, and I understand what we're doing with vulnerable leadership, and I understand what parts of me go where. Like functional human design is the fun place of gathering all the people on the planet who are seekers, who are looking for alignment, putting them all in one place, that we can all network with each other, because there's more than enough for everybody. We get a few thousand people, like many thousands of people in this community, and there's more than enough leads for everyone. Like, we call to each other individually and we can network and grow. And really, it helps people get away from social media, where we get stuck in these endless scrolls that are just so damaging.
It helps us community prescribe. So instead of self-prescribing, so to speak, where it's like, I got to get these people's attention and get lost in this scroll on social media, it's like when you're in this community, we're able to actually prescribe one another. We're able to go, you may not be a good fit for me, in all honesty, but this person over here, Jessica or Jess or any of the other Jesses, or whatever your name may be,
or
this
Sarah
person,
or Alex or,
Sarah
Jacob,
Alex
or like
Jacob,
there's so
I could
many
go
of
on
you
and on and
guys.
on.
Like, we love you all.
But it's like there's certain people go better with certain people, and that is the power of having like this global neighborhood hangout here.
And that's exactly it. And then came our final pivot where I was just like, it is not working well to have Reed in the Worthy program, because Worthy is really about people who we have all been hurt by other people's actions. And that causes us to feel deeply unworthy and like not cared for or seen in particular ways. And Worthy is that space of reclaiming yourself, reclaiming your life, reclaiming your identity, standing in your worth and value, building your confidence and knowing who you are. And that is a very specific type of person that appeals to me, because that is my journey of like, these are the things that I've struggled with. And vulnerable leadership is something that I have taught and done for many years. I love it so much. The business support of having that team to roll together and work together. So that was my buckets of, my business self, all the behind the scenes, that goes into vulnerable leadership. And that's why we're probably not going to be doing more of these, because that's in a high ticket paid program. Worthy gets all of my deep healing stuff. So that vulnerable transparency of where I'm able to heal through the things that have happened in our relationship that really aren't even bothering me that much anymore. But it's that example of being really vulnerable in a space that is private. And functional human design being the network, the fun, collective space that is all of us. It's not our community, it's our community. Like, y'all create this with us. That's how we got here. It's not like it's a Reed and Jess show. It's like there's 101 of us in there now, and we all work together.
Yeah, when you introduced vulnerable, when you introduced the idea of, actually you just said, I would like you to not be in vulnerable leadership or in Worthy, I felt hurt for a little bit. But then I looked into why am I hurt? And then I actually found power in that, because there's certain people who need to be seen for how much they've been taken advantage of. How much I've taken advantage of you, or taken you for granted, and been in competition or just really diminished your power and your uniqueness. And so for people, whatever community I'm creating, it is around reckoning with yourself and the pain you've caused yourself and others. Because some people don't beat themselves up as much as others, but some of us do, and then we end up beating others up around us and not taking responsibility for our actions. So whatever that community ends up being, it's going to have a lot of those elements in it. Anyway.
And that makes me so excited, because like there's always like the two elements. Conflict happens in relationship, just like money happens in relationship. So many people think they have money issues, and it's not a money issue, it's a people issue, because money comes through people. A hurt, pain, like heartbreak, that comes through relationships. These are people issues, and that's what human design does, is it helps clarify people issues. And I don't want you to beat yourself up. I don't want you to be insecure. I don't want, like, I'm rooting for you harder than I've rooted for anyone on this whole planet. Like, I adore you and want you to win. And I want you to win in every part of life.
I believe you more than I ever have.
Thank you. And so that, to me, it's like, we just need separate spaces to be able to do this work together with our people, like as a whole, and then together in more private groups, individually. And truly, that's how winning is done.
Yes.
And I just believe in the deepest parts of my soul that high tide rises all boats. The more this community grows, the better it is for absolutely everyone.
And speaking of magic moments.
Oh, that was the last thing. So the final point, I was saying 10 minutes. We're almost
perfect.
at 20. Yeah. So the final thing is that we are going down to 3 days a week of live calls. So we're not changing the times, but we're eliminating Thursday and Friday. So we're keeping the Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday calls because those are the ones that have had the greatest attendance. We went back and we looked at all the calls and we were like, which ones are the ones that are the most full? And it's Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. So we're keeping those 3 and we are bringing back YouTube, which I am so freaking excited about because I love that flow state in front of the camera. And remember all the shoulds about social media? I was like, should do this, should do this. Well, it's because the should was I so badly wanted to, but I didn't have clarity. Now I have clarity. So it's time to launch the social media. And that's kind of totally fun because Reed, I think, is going to be doing invitations by design because that's his manifestor design is to invite people in. So using the bot.
Yeah. Using the bot really gave me clarity on how I invite people when it's mostly around being a manifester. And then there's some specific things that come up that really help me gain clarity. But I'm really excited to not just highlight, each aura type or each strategy of each of us because y'all represent this. This is how I've learned what we're all about. And so when I get on social media, I'll be able to call each person into our community and be like, there's more of you. You can be seen, you can be heard, you can be able to not be slowed down as a manifesting generator and be told that you're too much or, as a manifester that you're too much. I mean, the same thing again. And
or projectors, you're not enough.
Yeah, you're not enough.
Like it
just there's all of these judgments that our entire world operates on, and I'm going to cut through those judgments with the truth of who you are, not speaking for you, but speaking about you, so that others can come in and join us here.
That invitation.
Yeah.
Giving it like 91% of us are either waiting for an invitation or a response or is like something to respond to. And that is the role of manifestors, is to create that invitation, to create that thing that we can respond to. And that's a huge reason why the community has grown, is because Reed has been inviting people in. And so you have his invitation and then my crazy magic, and the two of those together. And then when they come in, they see all of you guys. It's just like, what is this place? Like, how fucking cool is this?
It's so exciting to be able to invite y'all into the community and then see Jess do her thing. And it's just really fun to watch what happens. And I'm really excited about getting your magic moments of how human design is really changing you from the inside out, because that on social media is going to be so powerful. If you're like wanting to use your voice more, that's one part of it. And then the other part is that you're literally being a conduit to gain more people like yourself in this community.
I didn't tell you what happened this morning. So Wendy, who's a projector in the community,
Okay.
I was thinking about this form of social media called Magical Moments of Alignment. And it's just like short stories where these serendipitous things have happened that you just share over and over. And I was like kind of pondering with it. And Wendy commented on one of the posts, and I pay special attention to projectors because they're the most undervalued of all the types, and they have deep wisdom. And she commented something like, I love hearing the celebration stories of how people are moving into their design. And I was just like, that was the thing that I needed to hear to respond to, because I'm like, that's my green light. It's go time, baby. My sacral got lit up, and I was
Thank you, projectors. Thank you. What was her name again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was Wendy.
Wendy.
So I was just like, that's what I needed, because I envision the social media being like Reed doing all of these invitations and really just a few a week. And then all the rest of us, whoever wants to be involved, we're going to create a post, and I'll give you some examples. I'll do some so you can see like what it looks like, what it sounds like. And I'm sure it'll evolve over time. But the whole idea is sharing fun, inspiring, short stories that go out on the functional human design social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And those are just motivation and inspiration for other people to be able to be like, the alignment is everywhere. Those serendipitous moments where cool little things happen that you just know you're going the right direction.
I'm so excited to get your guys' stories out there and see how our community explodes with more neighborhood fun.
Right. It's so amazing to me because it's like, what if I keep going, I want like 10,000, 20,000 people in there, because what happens when none of us have to like think about really creating a lot of social media content or our own individual brands, but there's just this one brand that creates the container for seekers. And then like, you just do this, you just get to know people in there. Like, it makes it a lot easier.
Yep.
So I'm so freaking stoked about this. And totally Sacral has plenty of energy for this shit. That's how I know it's right. Okay, I love you guys. It's been a long video. I'll talk to you later. Bye.